Good morning, Facebook. It's 10 o'clock in the UK, 5 a.m. on the East Coast, and this is, I find the title somewhere, Blabbing for Britain, episode 198. And I've spoken to John and to Peter this morning, so they should be with me shortly as we take a look at what's been happening in the UK over the last week. If you're watching, please say hello. I'll feature your comments on screen and all will be well. Right, so our first test of the day. Sorry? John's saying he can't hear me. He's moved into the kitchen to a different PC and he's having one or two little problems. Do you have earbuds, John? I know you don't. All right, this is going to be one of those shows. I can hear John in the lobby, but he can't hear me. So I'm going to have to use, well, I don't know sign language, wish I did. Blabbing for Britain, episode 198, and welcome to the show. I'm hoping for Peter to be back shortly and to be able to see his picture. Right, I think we're going to have one of those shows. Peter, can you hear me? Right, just waiting for Peter to come in. I suppose this is a good moment to actually just play you this. So I'm going to bring it up on screen. I'm going to put it full screen. I'll go picture in picture. And I'm going to change the volume and press play. Welcome to Blabbing for Britain with Stephen, John, Stephen and Peter as we discuss the events of the week in the UK and around the globe. Thank you for joining us. If you have any questions during the show, please ask, and we look forward to telling you about what's going on in the UK. Right, now we're cooking with gas, as we say up north. We're joined by Peter. Good morning, Peter.
Hello.
Right, we have vision, we have sound, all is well. How are things with you?
Don't do anything.
How are things with you?
Do you know, I've had a rejuvenation. I'm training a man. I took a guy on a 67 and he's been out my past 3 days and it's great. And I'm showing him things and then he's off for 2 days. And this morning I was up and away out into the Highlands at 7:10 this morning. Fantastic. Wow. And it reminds me of being 27 again, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. I left and I'm sitting, I've just had my breakfast in my container food, and it brings me back to my age 27. And it's rejuvenated me, it really has.
If what you're doing keeps you young, then you're doing something that you truly enjoy.
Yeah, I do, and meeting the customers and everything. Hey, they better watch. One of them's in danger of getting a sack and me doing the job myself.
No, that's a turnaround. Okay, what's the temperature like at the moment, Peter?
It's -1 where I am today.
Wow.
And I'm in a place called Banchory.
Banchory.
Banchory. And some Americans would say, "Excuse me, sir, could you show me the way to Banchory?" Well, it's Banchory, like Loch.
Indeed. Right. John, can you hear me? Okay, so there are now 3 of us. And we're getting closer to having all 4 musketeers on camera. So, morning, John. What's the temp? Peter.
John, can you hear me?
I can hear everybody fine, thank you.
That's fine. Yeah, it's a go for me.
Good. Right.
I'm full of the flu, Stephen. So
oh dear.
Beware. I will mute myself if I have a coughing fit.
Right. Okay. It's that time of year, John.
I can't get rid of it. I've had it since Monday.
Mm.
Right.
But I'm all sore all round here, which doesn't help. You were going to ask, what's the temperature around here, I think, wasn't it, Stephen?
Well, Peter's got -1.
Well, it's very sunny here.
Oh, wow.
Really nice. In fact, it's too nice to be in here, you know, but I don't actually know what the temperature is.
Well, I'm wondering what the temperature is in, well, let's find out, shall we? The temperature in Stoke, Stephen. Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning, everybody. How are we?
Fine.
Yay!
Right.
The temperature in Stoke is currently 47 degrees, whatever that means. That's is that the old money or not old money?
It depends
That's the old money, 47, yeah.
How many centimeters is that?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
There was a big
Not high enough.
There was a big debate with that the other day. The weather girl, Piers Morgan, asked her what it is in centigrade, and she couldn't do it.
8 degrees centigrade.
8. Well, I'm -1.
No, I think you deserve that. You're in Aberdeen, up there.
Yeah.
That's positively balmy for you, isn't it, Peter?
No, we are used to it.
Hey, how do you get used to constant rain and cloud?
Live in Manchester.
You just get used to it. It's one of those.
It's the same in Lancashire.
What's on the agenda today?
Do you want to take bets on the first topic?
Brexit's doing awfully well, isn't it? So what a farce! I mean, it beggars belief. But I think we ought to have. Shall we update our predictions? Because you remember about 2 years ago, I said that we would not leave the European Union. This could be fake news. I might not have said it, but I'd like to predict that we will not leave the European Union until at least June 2020.
I'll make the same bet.
Okay.
I reckon it'll be the 31st of October. Because somebody's got a cunning plan. There's going to be a bit of legislation that nobody's knows, and they said, and Dominic coming and go, there you go, get them now, Boris, hit them with it now, and they'll go, and there'll be snowflaking. Can we have? We'll meet on a Sunday. Let's open Parliament on a Sunday.
There's a much more suspicious plan than that, because of course October the 31st finishes an hour earlier in Europe than it does in the UK.
Oh, right, okay.
So there's a 1 hour gap that something could be done there.
Yes, interesting. But here's the thing. Remember when they said in Europe there would be no more negotiations? No more negotiations. No more negotiations. No, that's it. They're worried now. They're getting worried now.
Right, to bring everybody up to speed, our government was advised that it should have an agreement to put to the EU today, and it should have gone to them yesterday so they could actually read it. It hasn't arrived in Brussels yet. It's flying there with Boris this morning, and he's going to be talking to his counterparts in the EU about the deal. The deal hasn't been agreed by Parliament. Parliament is sitting on a Saturday for the first time, well, third time in this century. And the idea is that Boris agrees it with the EU. This is familiar. I think Mrs. May did the same. Agrees it with the EU, brings it back to Parliament, and something that they've disagreed about for 3 years and 4 months, suddenly, magically, within the space of an hour of it being announced, is passed by Parliament. I think pigs will fly before Parliament will accept, because we already know the DUP are not happy unless they get some more money.
Apparently, they've said no this morning.
Yeah.
So
and you know what made me laugh? Anna Shrewsbury says, why are we meeting this Saturday?
We need a smile, Peter. Carry on.
I'm saying Anna Shrewsbury, she's saying, we don't need to meet this Saturday. The biggest moaner of the lot getting an opportunity. And what happened when they come back after Parliament was opened again? Nobody turned up.
Through the gates, mind your head. Oh.
Okay, now I'm going to go on to the next topic, and I want to refresh because I'm not seeing any.
Stay on Brexit. He loves it.
No, I want to go on to another topic. Is it okay for a protest action group to ignore an instruction not to be in London, as Extinction Rebellion is on the London Underground today? So I'm going to refresh back in a second.
Okay. Who wants to start?
Well, if there's that many Extinction Rebellion protesters, provided they bought a ticket, London Underground will be quite profitable today then, won't it?
Well, the police have said you're not getting in. They've done it for other demonstrations and didn't let them in. It's same for them. The police have said an exclusion zone. End of. And I'm really glad that people have hauled them off the trains and give them what for. Because that's what's happened this morning for people that do in other areas. They've thought they'll climb on the trains and stop him. Well, they picked in the wrong people this morning. The working class commuters soon gave them short shrift and they got arrested as well. Anyway.
What were they doing?
Climbing on top of the tubes so they couldn't move out of the stations. Disrupting people's jobs. So, they tried to get him down. They kicked first. They started kicking at people. So they got filled in. Then the police took him away. Great. What do you say, Star Trek?
Star Trek. It has got some bold lighting effects, I will agree. Do you know, there's nothing on the BBC front page about this at all.
They won't put that. Oh, but the good news is they're maybe going to speaking about the BBC becoming a pay-as-you-go service. They'll all be throwing their avocados down in horror at a BBC canteen. The gravy train is nearly over.
Do you know, Peter, you keep sending my little Google Home jobby crazy. The lights are going like mad.
Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah, for the BBC it become a paid service, and then they'll see how quickly it goes down if they can't get the money in. What do you think, Stephen?
Which one?
You.
I saw a headline which said that BBC are looking into the Netflix model, which is actually a subscription model, isn't it? Which presumably means the 13 quid a month that we pay at the moment for the BBC would go. Yeah. So we'd lose, presumably, if we didn't pay, BBC News, all the radio, all the TV, and the web.
Don't watch it. I don't watch it.
Whether or not you watch it is not. It's my turn. So, so you then kind of get, and he's put me on full screen. That's not fair. You kind of get what you pay for. So you get what you pay for. So if you don't like Radio 3, and who does? Sorry, or Radio 1, or even those clowns on Radio 2. Just to explain what's on the screen. This is Paul Sheldon, who's my graphic designer, who's my marketing and advertising guru. Right. And he's cottoned on to the fact that we're talking, and for some strange reason, Peter, he loves it.
Lurking.
He's been lurking for about 6-7 months, but he really he enjoys this. You know how I always say, why the hell is anybody watching this stuff? Well, apparently, it goes down quite well. So, but what was we saying? Oh yeah, Dad's Army and Pete. What we were talking? Oh, BBC. So, if you agree that you're going to get what you pay for, and I don't want to pay for Steve Bloody Wright or any of those. I mean, they've been there for decades.
I know.
I remember back in the olden times when Steve Wright in the afternoon was it on Radio 1. They've been there for decades, and they are so appalling. Ken Bruce, sorry, it's just utter rubbish. Hold on, Scotland. Even the sort of some of the inanities that are discussed, in breakfast radio. I can't believe I'm paying for it, but I am. But if they went a la Netflix, we wouldn't have to pay for it, would we? We just choose what we want. Is that?
Well, I get mine via cable, so why do I have to buy a bloody TV license as well?
Because you're funding something you don't watch or listen to.
I do occasionally, but they're on cable. They're not on.
Not much. Like when you're in the car, you'll presumably listen to Radio 4 News from 5 p.m. onwards. I used to listen to the what's the one in the morning called?
AM.
Yeah. I like that.
I don't know, something like that.
I like that Eddie Mayer bloke. I think he's brilliant. And
he's gone now, hasn't he? He's jumped ship.
LBC. He's on LBC, and he's still winding the politicos up nicely from my perspective. But there's also a guy who's on LBC, James somebody, who I'm listening to more and more. James O'Brien. Have you heard him? He Morning Claire. He takes these Brexiteers like somebody up north to task, and he just demolishes what they say. Where's Pete gone? Is he still here? Is he gone?
We can't hear you, Stephen.
Oh, Christ.
No, his phone went sideways and then he went.
Can you hear me now?
Not you, we can hear you.
It was t'other Stephen I couldn't hear.
Stephen with a V. I had my microphone turned off because I did, but it's now back on. Say hello to Claire. Oh. Right, okay. Now, I've got to say that, Claire, what do you think of the quality of the broadcast this morning? Not who's in it, but the quality of the video.
Oh, fantastic.
Well, yeah, you're right. I wouldn't ask otherwise, because we are, in fact, close to going out in 1080p broadcasting. We're also going to be able to... All right, okay. Right, okay. And Claire is saying that James O'Brien is brilliant. He lets the Brexiters dig themselves into a hole.
It's fabulous to listen to.
You should leave them there as well. Right, we're actually going out in 1080p, and we can, in fact, go live to YouTube soon. And we can multicast so that we can have this show on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, in fact, anywhere we want to go, which is good news. And the other good news, especially for me, is that there are going to be co-host facilities so that two people can actually produce the show, which will make life a lot easier, because then my mic will be controlled by somebody else, which is good.
When are we going to get to the stage where we can show? I mean, I've got an advert I want to show, just a single page. When are we going to be able to sort of multicast? I don't know if that's the right word, but images and things like, and indeed web pages and what we used to call multimedia.
We can share any web page at the moment. We can upload.
Is that you can, or I can?
Right, just a minute. Claire's saying, obviously, Stephen, the quality of people is excellent. Video looks great. Excellent. And, oh dear, you all look very lovely. Not fussy faces or pixelation as yet, but only just joined in. It can only get. It's going to get better, Claire. Don't worry. We're not going to go fuzzy. Right. Okay. So yeah, we can share images. We can now upload videos. So there was a video at the beginning of this show which I uploaded, and all the videos that John and I create can be uploaded during our in-video show at 4 p.m. this afternoon. And not fuzzy. So yeah, you can have a multimedia show now, no problem at all.
So how do I, as a participant, upload a photo that you can see that we can publish? As part
Right.
of it?
As a participant, you can't.
Right.
As a host of a show, you can.
Okay.
And soon as co-producer of a show, you'll be able to as well. But for the moment, you can just send it to me.
So let's do some live testing. What's your email address, Stephen? Don't say it out loud.
Well, I can't tell you what it is if I don't say it out loud. Can you message me on Messenger if you want to do this live? Send it on Messenger. Just send me. I'm going to open Messenger now.
No, isn't this exciting? Bleeding edge.
This is live.
This is what they
Right. Okay. Let's go to the agenda then. And whilst you're doing that, let's distract ourselves with right. Let's stay serious for a moment or two. President Trump has said that it's not his border. In other words, Turkey-Syria is not his border. He was more than entitled to pull out US troops. And now we've got the situation where Turkey is on the offensive and they are bombing the Kurds, and ISIS prisoners are escaping, and Syria are involved instead of the US backing the Kurds, and Russia are in there as well. Has he indeed opened a bag of worms? And we say hello, good morning to Kevin. Hello, Kevin. No, there are two phases to this. Kevin's saying, why would you let a participant upload a pic? The host lose control of the show. Uploading the pic is stage one. What goes in the show is a separate thing. So you can actually upload the picture so that I can see it and I can decide whether to actually bring it in the broadcast. So, and the other thing is, if we had 4 people on screen, you wouldn't be able to do it anyway. But the control always rests with the person hosting the show. I'm still waiting for a glorious picture to arrive in Messenger. Okay, John, any thoughts on Turkey and Syria?
Well, it's interesting that they haven't gone home. They've gone to Iraq, the troops. So they could be brought back quite quickly if needed.
Right, and Claire is saying he created a vacuum which Syria and Russia have now filled, and it's the whole turnabout. Got 2 conversations going.
It's,
right, okay.
It's a massive distraction. Again, he's using people's lives and people's livelihoods to distract from the fact he's going to be out by Christmas. He's actually going to be removed as a president by Christmas. And
you think?
All this, yeah, absolutely do. Yeah, he's out. He's going to be kicked out as a president, and obviously well deserved to be kicked out because he's a criminal. He's a horrible, horrible person. That's just one man's view.
You're entitled to it. Doesn't mean it's. Just let me name this.
So he kind of he's destroying. But then again, of course, remember it's not just him. It's that bunch of criminals, the Republicans, and it's just. I mean, I promised myself I wouldn't get involved in. Not involved. I wouldn't watch this stuff because it just sends you down rabbit holes that you really don't want to go down. But there is such corruption going on in the States at the moment, and John looks like he's back. It's just such a terrible scenario, and yeah, good riddance to bad rubbish. And then all they got to do is get rid of Pence, who's implicated in the Ukraine stuff up to his neck, And then guess what happens after that? Nancy Pelosi, a Democrat, becomes the president. Can you believe that? The first woman president in the States is going to be Nancy Pelosi. She's second in the line of succession once Trump and Pence have been dispatched. Absolutely incredible stuff. Did you see? I don't know if you saw. There was on Twitter last night. There was well, I'll get onto Boris in a minute, Kev. There's a photo that Trump tweeted where Nancy Pelosi, they're at a meeting. They're still having meetings between them, which is really quite bizarre. But Nancy Pelosi standing up, pointing across the table at the Republican side or the White House side, and Trump's there looking like a fool, and his generals are sort of scowling at her, and Trump says this is Pelosi losing it, but she's turned it in. She's put it onto her Twitter image. The image at the top. Profile. It's becoming a meme, and it's kind of, she's the only woman in the room, by the way. Mm-hmm. And as I said, so we did predictions. Obviously, Peter didn't get involved in the predictions because he's scared. But I predict that Pelosi will be the next president of the US.
Peter's never for it. Peter, hello, welcome back.
Hello. Yes, just in time. Yeah. Nancy Pelosi.
Yes. Oh, here we go.
All right.
It's frozen.
It's frozen.
I was looking forward to
It's
that.
more than one way.
Stay there.
Right, okay, we're not moving. We're not moving.
Nancy will look after you. But Nancy got the police and moved them out. What happened to her open borders? No. Oh, she's...
Whoa, Scotland.
Once at a time.
Right, and the other thing about Nancy Pelosi, she wakes up in the morning and says, oh my, that was a good thing, President Trump, for our country. But never mind, let's get him impeached somehow, somewhere. We'll do it. That's all she's got in her mind, impeaching President Trump without looking at the facts.
You can't be impeached if you haven't done anything wrong.
Absolutely.
That's a fact.
Yeah, well, you need to tell Nancy Pelosi that.
There's more to this than meets the eye. Right. Democrat and woman, Nancy Pelosi, and all right. Okay, yeah, and then that's the Twitter account. Thank you, Claire.
Yeah, it was one agenda to impeach Trump. That's all they went. Yeah.
Yeah, quite right. And do you know why? Because he threatened a smaller nation called Ukraine that if they didn't get dirt on Biden and his son.
No, that's turned out not to be true.
Have a look at the letter that Trump actually issued. Right?
He put the full transcript out about it. But it's funny enough, Joe Biden's son's all of a sudden dropped. He's not working with China not anymore because he became a millionaire with it.
Right. Okay. Sorry, Stephen.
What is impeachment? That's the big question.
What?
Impeachment. I mean, it's an American term. Over here, it's misconduct in a public office.
Yes.
They didn't release the transcript, Peter. They released a view of what was said. It was not a full transcript because you listen to me, maybe. They put the transcript onto a super secret server at the White House with stuff above classified, above top secret and things like that. But your man Peter has actually published some information which proves that he was trying to extort a small country to get dirt on a private citizen, an American citizen. And it's just, Kev just said there's a lot of lies and deception from the media, and it's hard.
Both sides.
The truth is. But
I keep going. See this impeachment stuff. I keep going back to Mr. Clinton, who abused a girl in the Oval Office, and they couldn't even impeach him. He abused a young woman. He abused it. He never got impeached.
He was impeached. Do you not realize he was? Okay. And he wasn't impeached for whatever shenanigans he got up to in the Oval Office.
He should have been.
He got impeached because he lied and tried to cover up. So that was the offence he was taken to by Congress. He was impeached by Congress. And by the way, apart from a few white lies, he did allow lots of people to give evidence. Not like this bunch of crooks that are over there. But anyway, enough about.
Now listen, if I was President Trump, I would say the same. Say, what have you got in Joe Biden? What's his son doing there? Could you help us? Is it against our nation? Is there any problem?
To extort a smaller country for political purposes, it's against the law.
And do you not think that, again, no matter which country it is, do you not think people say, do you not think the European Union say, hey, Boris, if you do this and you do this, we'll give you this. Same as the DUP.
I don't even know why you're asking the question, because that's not the issue I'm talking about. I'm saying that Trump broke the law and is now being impeached for that crime.
Well, I'll guarantee you won't get impeached.
Is that one of your predictions for the day?
Well, yes, it is. He will not get impeached because he'll open up a can of worms, and he said, well, hey, listen, if you go for me, we'll just open up files on Mrs. Clinton. And then it'll all come out.
Okay, I'll have a wee wager with you then. I put £5 on the fact that he will get impeached.
Right. There is a problem. He can be impeached by a lower house, which is...
Sorry, Stephen, I'm sorry, mate, to interrupt you. I do apologise, but it's not a lower house. It's a co-equal arm of government.
Right, okay. The second house then is actually dominated by Republicans. I can see John's midriff again.
No, you're right.
It's dominated by Republicans. It's not putting me off. Dominated by Republicans, and how are they going to get the Republicans to vote him out of office?
The thing about impeachment, which is where I'm really confident in my bet with Pete, and I'll take cash, is the House of Representatives are the only people who can impeach Trump. So they say, yeah, we've impeached you, and then a trial is held in the Senate, which, as you said, is dominated by the Republicans. Now, whether or not they kick him out is down to the Senate, but the House impeaches him. So again, it really is. Well, this is it. Yeah, Kevin's just mentioned about Southern District of New York, where a governor has actually just signed into law a rule which says that even if it was signed into law, which says that he can be tried for crimes committed in New York State.
I'm going to say something about this. Do you know what it is? It's sour grapes. Sour grapes. They could not believe that Donald Trump won that presidency. And from day one, they've tried to get... Do you know if he didn't change his underpants for one day, he would be impeached? Let's get him for that. He would be impeached for anything. Absolutely anything, because they still get over the fact that they beat him. They've got the best employment ever, more blacks in employment, etc., etc. Looking after his nation.
Why are you
pulling out
worried about
troops
this?
so they won't be going home in coffins anymore, getting them out of countries they shouldn't be in, and you look back on that, and I'll guarantee you'll get in, but they will try anything to impeach him. Anything.
Hi, Corinda.
Hello, Corinda.
Hello, Corinda. Come in and save Steve.
New topic. New topic. Please, new topic.
Right.
All right. Okay. Let's go.
I've had my say.
Let's go on to a new topic, which is not controversial, and I just want to be able to say this again. Germany will not bar Huawei from its 5G networks.
Neither should we.
Okay.
Ooh.
No, we've got the decision being made later this year about whether they're barred from our networks, haven't we?
So we don't have the latest technology just because we're worried that someone might listen in. Yeah, there's a million ways to listen into the network, isn't there?
1,000,001.
Is
Sorry.
Peter a Trump supporter? Of course he is. He's Scottish. They're all weird up there.
Oh
He
dear.
does it to wind me up.
Oh,
All right.
I just
Okay.
love him with their fake. Did you see? Here's a story going on about fake news. Did you see the guy that worked within CNN, and for months and months, he's been taping and recording high-level conversations, and every morning, Zuckerberg, who's the head of CNN, all he wants is impeachment. I don't know what the story is today, but I want you ahead with impeachment. Go for impeachment. Because he used to work with Trump at CNN, and they hate each other. It's a vendetta with him. And that's funny. Go and look that one up. You won't see it spread across the news, gentlemen. Go and find it.
Zuckerberg has never been in charge of CNN. Zuckerberg's in charge of Facebook.
He's only ever had one job. He's a one-job Charlie. He just happens to be a billionaire because he's a one-job Charlie, but he has only ever had one job. Pete's gone very still. He's pretending he's frozen.
Okay. But whilst Pete's thinking, it's the Rugby World Cup, in case we didn't know. England are playing Australia this weekend. Good luck to England, because they're English. So there you are in Japan. And it's going to be good. I'll be there watching.
In Tokyo?
Well, no, I won't physically be there, Stephen, unfortunately. I'll be watching on television. To be there would be actually really good. But Japan is a wonderful, marvellous place. Right. Okay. So a topic which I mean, I know our children are no longer at school, but there is a situation. You know which story I'm headed for, hopefully. Defiant Head vows to keep unregistered school open. Background to this is that there are schools which are not registered. They're still inspected, though. And this school has been told to close. The head says, no, I am not closing. And she's still managing to keep going. Local council seem to be bemused by what's going on. And it's over to our education correspondent, Mr. John Upton, who's...
I haven't even heard of the story, so no comment.
Well, that kills that one, doesn't it? Stephen, have you heard about it?
I haven't, I must admit. And I guess it's just, is it the law that you can defy somebody?
Well, somebody's got to physically... She just keeps opening the doors every morning.
And parents come along and I guess they're happy.
They're happy, yeah.
Are they paying for this? Is it a private school type thing?
It is, yeah. Yeah. The parents are happy, the children are happy. Ofsted say that the teaching, well, they're not happy with the teaching. England will beat Australia, says Corinda. And
another prediction.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. As we know nothing about that one, we may well come back to it if the school continues to open its doors. And Stephen's fallen asleep.
I'm sorry.
Right. No, it's okay. Right. I'm trying to get something which. Right. Okay. Now we can do this while Peter's on his way back. Northern Rail could be nationalised. Why is that?
Good. Because they're providing a poor service, have done for ages, and it's just another consequence of the disastrous decision to privatise the railway industry. How many years ago? I was part of it when I had to provide information because I worked for IT part of the railway,
Uh-huh.
and just asking Google when was BR private. It was more than 20 years ago, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
It was.
another prediction: by the end of the decade, British Rail will be back in public hands, and all the money we're paying to Branson and the rest of them will be put into actually delivering a service. Did you realise that it began in 1994 and was completed by 1997? The deregulation of the industry was initiated, here's one for Peter, by the EU Directive 91440 in 1991. How about that? But yeah, good luck to them, and any time and get rid of the private ownership of the railways will be good in my view. That's just one man's opinion.
Well, it's just so complicated at the moment. I mean, Northern Rail, just to put everything in context, run the line on the west coast of England, or around Manchester and what have you. They basically are not too strict about being punctual, don't mind cancelling trains, and don't mind saying it's Sunday, we're not working today. And that has given problems to everybody who's actually served by Northern Rail. And that's why the government are thinking of taking it back into public ownership to the something of last resort is going back to.
Owner of last.
Yeah.
Isn't rail track? It's Northern Rail now, isn't it? No.
Yeah.
National Rail.
Yeah.
Isn't that actually technically publicly owned now?
I don't know.
Because they were, I mean, I could tell you stories about rail track, but obviously for libel.
Oh, right, okay. You tell us true. We don't want taking off air, I don't think.
But, back in the day when I provided rail systems and technology, I was part of BR Business, British Rail Business Systems, and I was responsible for email and network services, some network services across the whole of the railway industry. And we as the IT part of British Rail. What? Brexit, what? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Brexit deal agreed, says Peter.
Oh, some bollocks. Sorry, that's not true. But anyway, what was I saying?
Are you talking?
Another day. We'll do it another day. What's this about Brexit deal agreed?
I don't know. John?
New Brexit deal agreed, according to Boris Johnson.
Great new deal has been done. Oh, that sounds like Trump. EU leaders expected to, this is the Telegraph, of course. EU leaders expected to give political approval to the deal this afternoon. And Boris Johnson says Parliament should get Brexit done on Saturday. And what does the Guardian say about it? Boris Johnson says he has secured a great new deal with the EU. And what have we got from the Independent?
The BBC just says news to follow.
Boris Johnson agrees Brexit deal with the EU. I wonder if the DUP have got anything to say about that. Well, we shall soon find out, won't we?
According to the BBC, the DUP don't support it.
Well, it's got to get through. I mean, sorry, he's agreed with Europe, with the EU.
Would appear.
It's still got Saturday to come. Okay, so it's still game on. I mean, this is not the be all and end all because it's just another beginning.
It's another headline, isn't it? So, what is the deal?
Right. Okay. A serious question from Corinda. Does that mean we must stay in the EU? No, he wants us out of the EU, Corinda. He wants us to leave. He's doing his darndest to make sure that we do leave. And at this point, I'm going to put my hand up and I'm going to go solo for a second. Excuse me, gents. He actually wants us to leave, and that's a problem for 48% of the country. In actual fact, if you did a referendum now, it's over 50% actually want to remain in the EU. And I did so twinning yesterday evening, which I'm chairman. We're twinned with Maine and Blabbing, and I gave up and I gave a speech, and part of that speech was bollocks to Brexit. And a round of applause later, I think we all agreed that Brexit was a bad idea, and it still is. But our government is intent on our leaving the EU, and we just got to wait and see what happens. But this Saturday, Angelica and I will be in London, marching from A to B, and B being the Houses of Parliament, to say that we want to remain in Europe. Just forget the last 3 years. It's all been a dream or a nightmare, depending who you are. And let's go back. Let's go back to actually being part of the EU and playing an active part. And actually, the last 47 years that we've been a member, we've benefited greatly. And I can't see any reason for leaving. There's no logical reason for leaving. If I asked you to give me 3 reasons for leaving, you couldn't. If you asked the team on the show today, with the exception of Peter, to give you 100 reasons why we should stay, I'm sure that given an hour or so, we could give you 100 reasons for actually remaining in the EU. The other reason I wanted to go full screen is that I've got a new camera, and this is my new camera in action. This is my Logitech Brio, and the reason that I've got this new camera is simple and straightforward. That pretty soon we'll be able to go out to YouTube with Blabbing for Britain, and we'll be able to go 1080p. Right. Rant over. I'm back, and we're back to 3 of us.
Why do you need a Brio to go 1080p?
Because eventually we'll go 4K.
Right.
Okay, and that the C920 was 4 years old, so it's done me well. Right, okay. Corinda, obviously we wish you a speedy recovery after your seizure, and it's good to have you back, mate, and watching the show. And Kevin, it won't be forgotten.
Well, when you had your on screen, you described Bobby stepping back out of the shower. Just to go back in history, do you remember?
Oh yeah, the real history. The history of Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole season was ditched because they got the wrong person writing the story. Right. Okay. Right. Let's just blab on, as they say. So we've done that. What I love is that when I've done an item, it actually grays it out, so I can't actually do the same thing twice. Just to shout out that Mr. John Upton and I will be live at 4 p.m. today with Inspired by Video, and we'll be showcasing video by Matthias. Okay, and we've done that one. And talking of microphones and new cameras and stuff, they're now using microphones to diagnose noisy arthritic knees. This is a new technique. And it works quite simply in the same way as they use microphones to check out bridges.
Anybody got a Galaxy S10?
No.
Wow. Samsung, in a nice, gentle, not up your nose press release, announced that any fingerprint will unlock an S10. So the fingerprint reader is not particularly secure.
Well, the S10 isn't secure.
Well, the fingerprint reader will open the thing with any fingerprint, not necessarily the one it's been trained with.
That's bad.
Wait. Oh, good. Right. Okay. Okay, let's go with it. Right,
I'm going to the source of all knowledge, of course, Twitter, about this deal thing.
Yeah.
And nobody's sort of saying, or it has to be said that there's a letter from Juncker to Boris. And I haven't read it yet, but it does seem that we are breaking news from Blabbing for Britain. What? 198 episodes. I didn't realise that many chance. I can't see anything else there. There's a guy. Okay. Brexit. Johnson says he has secured a deal with the EU, but the DUP says the position remains the same, which is off. It's all good and fun, isn't it? Can you imagine what's going to happen next week when we come together and say, do you remember that deal that Boris got? And do you remember how it was rejected? And we're back where we were. And Steve's prediction that we will not leave the EU still stands true.
All right. Okay. Right. So that was live. That was the BBC website for a moment. And just to show that this show is live, you remember, this is Blue Peter style, of course, that Stephen sent me an image earlier during this show.
Yes.
And I can now bring the image up on screen and go full screen. Would you like to talk about it, Stephen?
How about that? This is this is Edge Apps is actually a marketing brand for Design Analytics, which is my company. But we've just started sponsoring Eccleshall Football Club, and this advert, which Paul helped me put together, is in the program and gets quite a wide audience of people who attend and all that sort of stuff. But the point is that Eccleshall played Stoke City last night, or in the Staffordshire Senior FA Cup. And so what I'm just trying to say is that this is the ad that we put in the brochure, this program, and very proud of it I am as well. And we started posting it all over LinkedIn and Facebook and things like that. So I shall let you know how what reaction we get back from it, and you can have a peek at that. Thank you very much. But I'm glad that we managed to do it, Stephen. It's really it gives us another dimension, doesn't it? Because we can sort of schedule things we want to talk about and be able to disprove Peter's fake news, and that could be quite fun, I think.
It could.
Where is he?
He's still around, but he was out and about, and he was up for work and driving at 7:10 this morning, and he was stopping for a coffee, and was able to join us.
And we had 475 people at Eccleshall last night, which is a big crowd for the team. Unfortunately, Eccleshall is a town about 8-9 miles away from where I am, and we're doing some good stuff with the good folk of Eccleshall in terms of apps. And so I thought it would be a good idea to get a bit of sponsorship going over there. But Eccleshall lost 3-0 last night to Stoke City, to their younger team in that league. And you'll recall that this weekend is a bit of a crunch match for Stoke City because we won. I just want to get that into context. Stoke City won a football match last weekend. No, it's true.
It's true.
Before, and we're all looking forward to a triumphant return to form on Saturday.
Yeah,
we'll probably lose again after a crash.
Well, Burnley are hoping for a win.
Yeah, and what are you lot doing now, Stephen?
Burnley is seventh. Burnley is 7th in Premier League.
Wow,
we're doing quite well, thank you.
5 places above Man United.
What?
Indeed. And long may it continue. We only need 3 points and we'll be third.
Man United are 12th in the Premier League.
Wow.
Yeah. Solskjaer's not a happy man.
But I think they'll stick with Solskjaer. They knew they need a massive rebuild.
Yeah.
And they had to have a united man to do that massive rebuild.
How are the Villa doing?
Well, don't talk about that. Now, we're not that bad either. We're 3 places above the bottom 3.
Oh, that's good. We bloody managed.
3 points will move you 7 places up the league. Yeah, it's just too early to predict, really. Apart from Watford, who look like they're going all the way down, but
I'll just try and find where Stoke.
And Corinda's saying he's a Liverpool fan.
No, commiserations, mate.
Yeah, well, you know.
And he
Oh,
wants to
bloody
check.
hell. We're bottom of the league, 24th position. But we're 3 points from we're 3 points from safety.
Right.
Oh my lord.
Plenty of time, yeah. There's plenty of time. It's still early doors in terms of the season, as John said.
Don't need to worry until March. Then's when reality starts to hit home.
Yeah, but we're bottom of the league.
Yeah, well, you know. Would you like yet another new manager to have yet another new ungolden moment?
Well, let me take your advice on that. What would you do? If you
I think you have to stick with Nathan Jones for a while, because chopping and changing hasn't done you any good, has it?
No, I agree. But what would you do? You'd stick with him, would you?
Yeah, I'd give him till January.
Stephen,
He has done a lot in the past, yeah.
Yeah.
And the sheer fact that
Patience.
you've had 5 managers in 2 years, 5 is it? It's that sort of order. Says someone needs to be given a chance, a real chance.
But he's had 30 matches and he's won 4 of them.
That's not good.
Yeah, but is that the manager or is that lack of investment?
I don't know the answer to that, but given that,
The worst thing you ever did was sell the bean pole to Burnley. Yeah.
No, that was good. That was a good deal. We gave him fair money.
It was good for Burnley. It was terrible for Stoke.
It worked well for
us. They
us.
didn't have that magic. We'll bring him on in the last 20 minutes because he can only last 20 minutes that they used to have.
Right. Okay. If you manage to miss
now he's advertising phone contracts, and he's retired.
Right. If you manage to miss it this week, and I don't know how you could. This week has been Belive's 3rd birthday. There have been shows Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and there is one show out of all the shows that have been done you should actually watch, because there were 25 hours of shows in total. I'm not going to say watch my show in Belivers or watch my show on a Monday. I'm going to say that you should actually. No, I'm not. You can actually click the link, and the 2 things that will strike you. First of all, the first 30 minutes is the CEO, Daniel, and the CTO, Safria, talking about Belive. And then Safria launches into a list of things that are going to happen in Belive over the coming weeks and months. And it's quite an impressive list. It was too fast and too furious to write it all down, because they were joined by a guy who's the product manager, and lots of things are happening on Belive, not the least of which is quality broadcasting, 1080p.
Oh, dear. Apparently, I'm an agent from Port Vale, according to Paul Sheldon.
What's that? What's he saying?
John is an agent sent from Port Vale to say.
It's all right.
The only reason I know that Port Vale are in the Potter is that what's his name, the singer, is a fan. But apart from that, I've never heard of him.
You're talking about the world icon, Mr. Robbie Williams.
Yeah, but he's upset our Led Zeppelin fella, hasn't he, by getting permission to build an underground swimming pool next door to his
stage, wasn't it?
Yeah, next door to his very historic house.
It's good to know what you get remembered for, isn't it?
Right. Who says we're not fair? I'm even mentioning StreamYard during the show. What's that? I don't know. The
thing is, we found a home here and we've stayed here. So many other things we went through before we ended up here, and so many other things have come along and gone. Yeah. So staying here has proved to be the right thing in my mind. I'll finish now. You've made before.
Totally well said, John. We each choose the platforms that we're happiest with, and I'm very happy with Belive, as John said. And Stephen's happy with Belive too. Stephen
Yeah.
Peter is. He loves ranting
Peter's.
on Beeler.
He does indeed. It wouldn't be the same if he didn't.
I don't rant. John, sorry, Peter.
Yeah, what about him?
No, somebody said he likes ranting. I don't rant. I'm the voice of reason.
We said Peter likes ranting.
Good,
You're
yeah.
not Peter.
Yeah.
I love it when he does that because he just gives me so much.
I watch his blood pressure raises. His
We've got to be careful.
goes up his face.
He has to be careful too. And if Tish had been watching live today, she'd have had apoplexy because she'd have been saying, "Calm down." Right, talking of calming down, it's time to calm down.
Tish was here earlier.
Tish posted the night before.
Oh, right.
Okay. And Corinda's saying remote access still about. It is, Corinda, and co-production is on its way. It's over to Mr. John Upton to close today's show.
Is that time already? Got new broadband on Sunday.
Noticed.
It's at 357 down and 45 up.
Get you.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
It's £16 a month less.
I hope that goes across the board and we all pay less. Eventually.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry about the coughing. Right, so it's goodbye from Scotland. He's buggered off in his little white van. Perhaps he's gone chasing wasps because apparently he's still doing wasps at this time of year, which shocks him. It's goodbye from my friend up here, just a bit further up the motorway from me. That's Stephen in Stoke-on-Trent with the palm trees, the sand, the sea, the sun, the I don't know what else.
Gorgeous.
And it's goodbye from Stephen down in Wiltshire, near the land of many canal locks. And take a good look at Achieve Your Business Goals. That's currently in 4th spot. So it's goodbye from, it's gone into full spot. So it's goodbye from
Only for
all
a
of us. But Stephen and I will be on at 4 o'clock this afternoon. That is subject to me having some internet.
Indeed.
Because at 3 o'clock I've got a damned engineer coming in to fix the telly. And of course it runs across the broadband, doesn't it?
It does. Okay.
See you all
See
soon.
you later. Bye.
Episode 199 next week.